Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Tuesday the 13th of May 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. Cointelegraph says Craig Wright sent enemies to legal hell, says judge in restraining order. This was just 14 hours ago, so it looks like Judge Miller has just been issuing orders that he's got absolutely no right or authority to issue because it's an administration court acting in admiralty jurisdiction. So yeah, hope he gets what's coming to him. CoinGeek has got an article here from Kurt saying the window is closing. Got some good reports from this one, so we'll have a quick read of that. Hopefully we'll be able to get through it all. Craig has just been having a dig at Adam back here, absolutely, and then we'll have a quick look at the figures, some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Craig says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong and transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So Cointelegraph says Craig Wright sent enemies to legal hell, says judge in restraining order. Craig Wright's actions have caused significant disruption to innovation in an important technology industry, said a British High Court judge. The British High Court has issued a restraining order against computer scientist Craig Wright, preventing him from filing further defamation suits. On May 12th, in the May 12th judgment, High Court Judge Edward Miller said Wright's repeated false claims, no they weren't, but anyway, and aggressive legal actions created a legal hell for individuals, well, should we call them scammers, because that's what they really are, scammers and more scammers in the GregCoin community, adding that Wright sought to weaponize legal systems to intimidate and silence critics. Well, actually, no, what he was trying to do was enforce the law and prevent this lot from scamming everybody. But the judge was in on it, so, what can we do? His lawsuits force people into costly and time-consuming legal defences, often based on fabricated evidence. Bullshit. The judge added he handed out a general civil restraining order or injunction against Wright, prohibiting from filing any more civil claims or applications in the High Court. The court highlighted how this strategy was part of a pattern of abuse the legal system to assert false claims of being Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, again, they're not false claims because we've got all the evidence showing that he is. So it's just this lot trying to cover it up because the conspiracy is massive. It is apparent that Dr. Wright had substantial financial backing from the start of his campaign, and his defamation claims were deliberately unequal battles, said Judge Miller. I don't agree with that, but he's got to come out with some excuse, hasn't he? The Crypto Open Patent Alliance brought the claim in 2021, seeking negative declarations and injunctive relief because of the threats Wright had made against its members, including crypto blogger Peter McCormack and Magnus Granoth, aka Hodlanaut. His defamation claims put each man through 5 years of personal hell, Miller wrote, adding that allegations were part of a deliberate strategy where Dr. Wright and his backers sought to establish the claim that Dr. Wright was Satoshi by unequal contest. No, not really. All the evidence would have been put forward, but this lot made sure it never saw the light of day. COPA is a non-profit community formed to encourage the adoption and advancement of crypto technologies and to remove patents as a barrier to innovation. Well, that's never going to work, is it? So this is his statement here, saying that Granoth and Mr. McCormack, that CSW put each man through 5 years of hell. Not really. The threats its members received were having a serious chilling effect on the development and innovation of the cryptocurrency industry. Yeah, because the crypto industry is a complete scam. The whole thing is a fucking scam. But said Judge Miller, but he didn't actually say fucking scam. He said crypto industry. But cryptocurrency, there's no such thing as a decentralized currency. So you can't have a decentralized cryptocurrency. So that's an oxymoron in itself. So it has to be a scam. Dr. Wright's actions have not only affected the individuals he has sued, he's continued, they have also caused significant disruption to innovation in an important technology industry. Yeah, a disruption into all their Ponzi scheming. And everyone knows it. Everyone knows they're all Ponzi scheming. Ethereum, complete Ponzi scheme, the chain for scammers. And then Segwit, obviously Gregcoin, another scam coin as well, passing itself off as Bitcoin. It's outrageous. Craig Wright slapped for contempt of court. Last March, the British High Court ruled that Craig Wright was not the author of the Bitcoin white paper. Yeah, he ruled that from the bench. There was no jury there, no nothing. Did not operate under the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto and was not involved in the creation of Bitcoin. In July, Wright issued a legal disclaimer on his website, emphatically stating that he was not the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin. Well, the judge made him do that. In December, the Australian computer scientists were given a 1-year suspended sentence in the United Kingdom for contempt of court. Wright has also filed libel lawsuits against Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin and Bitcoin pioneer Adam Back during the almost decade-long fake Toshi saga. And that's an article by Cointelegraph. No bias shown there at all. Sense the sarcasm. Right, let's have a look at this one then. CoinGeek. So Kurt Watzik says the window is closing. Ooh. This could be fear of missing out. Let's see what's going on here then. There is a particular loneliness in being right too early. Since the early days of the Bitcoin experiment, I've held one consistent position. If we don't use Bitcoin as cash, if we don't treat it like a tool for business, trade and truth, it will be captured, nurtured and sold back to us in pieces, not as a revolution, but as a speculative vehicle wrapped in the language of freedom, which is exactly what's happened. And here we are, too right. The warnings came early and often. I said in 2015 that if we fail to transact, if we abandon Bitcoin's usefulness, we will invite taxation and regulation. That happened. I noted that cheering on CME and CBOE futures was cheering on our own domestication by Wall Street. That happened too. I even called FTX a teetering Ponzi scheme while it was the biggest business in the blockchain space. Oh, yeah, well done, he called it. He said here, I'm often early but not wrong. Who's this? Sir Spamalot said, remember all the stuff we were saying about issuers, pre-mines and the Howey test? Hope you were paying attention. If not, better start now. What's this related to? So FTX was offered and sold as an investment contract and therefore a security. Absolutely. When was this? 0.76. Before launching FTX platform on or around May 2019, FTX had minted 350 million FTT tokens in or around April 2019. Of the 350 million tokens minted, 175 million were allocated to FTX as company tokens and 175 million were designed as non-company tokens. The company tokens were set to unlock or become available for trading over a 3-year period after a so-called initial exchange offering. Of the token, 0.77 from the time of its offering, FTX token was offered and sold as an investment contract and therefore a security. Well, same with Tether, same with everything else, same with Binance token, same with all these effing Ponzi schemes. You know? But hey ho. As the years passed, I warned that if we don't build with Bitcoin, if we bundle into ETFs, custodians, derivatives firms, and eventually governments, we ignore the sirens and instead of focus on memes, podcast conferences, and mythologizing number go up, as if that alone would get us to the promised land. Even within BSV, the last rebel chain born from principle and truth, I warned that placing too much of the ecosystem's weight on one man's shoulders, even Satoshi's, was a mistake. Instead of building businesses and markets, many chose speculation on narratives or personalities, on outcomes they never worked to produce. He said here, this was September 2019. I never cared if he was Satoshi. I agree with Craig about Bitcoin. I promised myself I would never make decisions about important things based on identities. Identity and ideology should be separate. Yep. I mean, a little bit hard to separate this one, but yeah, I agree. And now look at how that played out. I say none of this none of this to gloat. I find no joy in accurate pessimism. But if we plan a way forward, we must first take an honest look back. The great capture. Today, what most people call Bitcoin is a shell of the original system. BlackRock, Nasdaq, ticker symbol BLK, holds the keys to the treasury, which coins pooled into institutional vaults and traded as collateral for other instruments. Companies like Michael Saylor's Strategy or Jack Ma's 21 aim to control massive portions of the supply used not to trade or settle or innovate, but to borrow, speculate, yield farm like bankers they worship. Yeah, absolutely. That was May 6, 2025, so we're just talking a week ago. Jack Maulers says, announcing strike lending. Oh dear. You shouldn't have to sell the best performing asset in human history to access cash. Now you don't have to. Access your Bitcoin wealth without selling it. Build a better life on top of Bitcoin with Strike. Borrow fiat hodl, honestly. It's just more of this, don't use it, just stick with filthy fiat. Here we're going to give you a ramp to do it. It's ridiculous. For a time, Bitcoin was the domain of cryptographic wonks. When it shifted to anarchists and cypherpunks, now it belongs to Larry Fink and other people who wear suits to work and bundle assets together for profit. And worse still, these assets using BTC are increasingly serving as a collateral for debt, not money. The same centralized model that broke traditional finance is now wrapping itself around Bitcoin's narrative and selling it to fools like it isn't a known toxic entity. The US strategic Gregcoin reserve exists, but not to free anyone. Its purpose is to plug monetary holes with assets it doesn't fully understand and can't fully use. Ironically, even its BTC came from confiscating coins from Ross Ulbricht, the man who became a symbol of Bitcoin's use and means of exchange. When sound money becomes soft, money that depends on permission to be useful is not sound money. It's political money, or it's political currency. That's where BTC lives now. The core developers decide what is scarce and what is not. All governance happens behind closed doors, and when people disagree publicly, they are muted, banned, or brushed off. This month, the debate over removing op return limits on Gregcoin showed just how far things have fallen. The change wasn't debated in good faith. It was presented, rejected by the community, and quietly shifted into a new pull request with comments locked and dissent discouraged. This isn't open source, this is priesthood, and another thing I've predicted for years. And this was Jan 3rd, 2022. If you question the high priest of Bitcoin Core, you'll be blocked from the mailing list, the chats, the forums, the GitHub. Thanks for replying. So that was in response to Antti Pomilano saying, it is the first responsibility of every citizen to question authority, and that's what he hasn't done at all. So Kurt continues, he goes, and if protocol rules are subject to soft consensus, then BTC isn't sound money, it's fiat with extra steps. That's why I continue to advocate for BSV model, where consensus rules are loosened and made configurable, and infrastructure is driven by market forces and not developer decree. But even BSV faces the same problem. The world isn't using it, and if we fail to solve that, we will get crushed under the weight of endless theories instead of thriving in the abundance of endless transactions. Where the future is failing, when Donald Trump announced himself as the Bitcoin president in 2024, I said it was a dangerous sign that the technology had become a toy for billionaires and political fundraisers. Since then, we've seen the worst instincts play out. Trump, Milana tokens launched as memes. Meanwhile, the big promise about reform, clarity and efficiency remain largely unmet. And a post on Jan 7th, 2025, it says, in my most recent article, I suggest that Trump could look to annex strategic countries. Now it's being announced. My content is the alpha, or my content is the alpha. So this was him saying, I have a call to action about BSV. This is the opportunity, and the window to drive it home is pretty small. Let me know what you think. Yeah, absolutely. So he said, yes, the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has exposed shocking waste. Yes, we've seen a few pardons, but the actual levers of power on immigration, trade and peace remain stuck, and so does Bitcoin. The realignment of monetary systems that Bitcoin was supposed to catalyze is now little more than a branding exercise for Cantor Fitzgerald and Kraft Ventures. insiders. We've missed the moment again. And when I talk about data integrity, about the need to depoliticize records, timestamp permissions, and anchor science in facts instead of feelings, I get blank stares. The opportunity to use Bitcoin as the world's truth machine passes us by while everyone celebrates the next ETF approval or altcoin pump. The real danger, it's not just that Bitcoin is becoming relevant, it's that the system being built on top of Bitcoin, like ETFs, custodians, stablecoins, and corporate servers, are preserving the worst traits of the old system at the cost of best traits of Bitcoin. We've traded decentralization for dependency, we've traded usefulness for yield, and we've traded truth for trust. That's why I'm not worried about what Bitcoin will do next. I'm concerned about what we don't do. If we continue to ignore payments, remittance, data integrity, and real-world business applications, then we're merely watching the tech be absorbed into the very system it was meant to replace. And that system is under extreme strain. Interest rates, global conflict, and waning public trust, all signs point to a crisis of legitimacy. Bitcoin was supposed to be our lifeboat. Instead, it's become a yacht club for the overcapitalized who just might drive us into World War III. Oh yeah, absolutely. What's this? Shadi has said here, what is happening now in the world is exactly the same as the previous periods of World War I and World War II. World War III has already begun, and the period we are living in is now the period of denial. It started in Ukraine, then Gaza, then India, then Pakistan, and other conflicts. Yeah, he's right. You know, they've even got far-right Nazis marching through France now. It's all heading towards World War III. That's what they want. The final warning, if you are in this space for more than speculation, now is the time to build. Now is the time to fight. If you aren't a builder, then the whole bunch of developers who could use a business partner and CFO or a project manager with some fundraising experience. Because if Bitcoin dies as a useful tool, it won't come back. Not in time to save us, and not in a form we can control. This is the final window before soft money becomes dead money. And if you and I get conscripted to be a cannon fodder in the next bank war that Bitcoin could have prevented, and it's closing fast. That is actually a really good article there, Kurt. Yeah, spot on. And again, I mean, there isn't anybody in the upper echelons of BSV that I haven't really agreed with. You know, I think Kurt, CSW, myself, yep, all on the same page and all awake. That's the main thing, awake to what's going on. You know, I think a lot of people just don't have a clue. Like, you know, a lot of people might even question what Kurt was going on about there. Yeah. Well, let's have a look at, what's this? We'll have a look at what's happening here. What this looks like it's Baron Trump saying here. Breaking, James Comey has some serious explaining to do. A Doge audit just uncovered a $16 million payment wired straight to Comey's private company. And get this, it was approved by Comey himself. Oh my goodness me. Honestly, talk about hands in the cookie jar and everything like that. Comey was asked to comment and he stayed silent, typical. Wow, Baron Trump getting in there. 359.1k followers. All right. Be interesting to see where that goes. Might have to get Baron Trump on my show as well then, maybe one day. We'll see. So Craig has said here, here we have Adam lying through his little teeth again. You don't trust the miners. There's no need to trust anyone when the protocol doesn't change. That's the entire bloody point. Bitcoin was designed so that the rules are set in stone, fixed, immutable. You only need to trust miners, nodes and developers when, like in BTC Core, that's Gridcoin, the protocol is a moving target. When every few months a new rule is smuggled in under the guise of upgrades and soft forks. That's when trust is required because the goalposts shift. That's where consensus becomes politics. If you don't change the rules, you don't need to trust anyone. You just validate according to the known established protocol. Adam conveniently forgets that, or more likely, he remembers but hopes you don't, because dishonesty is a feature, not a bug, when the game is narrative control. Oof. So let's see what Adam Backy has posted here. He said, well, for consensus, the BSV stroke BCH guys really wanted to pivot the protocol to trust the miner. Oh dear, gaslighting again. But in Bitcoin economics, great coin, economics nodes enforce the consensus rules. Miners can follow or mine invalid blocks and lose money fast. With relay policy, the friction is mild, so it seems inverted. Yeah, he's talking absolute crap there. Absolute crap. And what was this in response to? Oh, is this Bitcoin mechanic? What? Grass-fed Bitcoin? I wonder if that's him. So the post here, he said, I said it repeatedly during the debates last week that people migrating to knots should be taken seriously. Several times the response was, who cares? None of them are mining nodes. Oh, so that's a Bitcoin mechanic. Chief Boiling Officer at Ocean Mining. I might just follow him. And Rafael Laverdia said, BlackRock runs BTC. Yeah, Core simply used the likes of you to push lies along the way to complete the hijacking of great coin while it was convenient. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. Right, it's 20 minutes gone. Let's have a quick look at the figures then. So we've got great coin, $104,000. Bitcoin, $41. Just $41 or $14.93 top left there. Transactions right down, but block size right up 95.53. Look at this, 101. 253 megabyte block. Loving that. 116, 88. 115. Hey, 82. Loving that. Some nice big blocks coming through there. It's currently 91,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gradecoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 19.2% comparable loss. Mining Fisher Price Cash at an 8.2% comparable profit. But mining, is it more profitable? Oh, just mining Bcash at 1.1%. Much of a muchness nearly all the time there. Let's have a look at where the politics is, because the politics is in the pie charts. We all know it. So global hash rate 7 days, global hash rate 24 hours. Gradecoin hash rate, other miners 11.81. Oof. Bcrash, other miners 58.33. 58.33. Fisher Price Cash, who cares? Bitcoin, let's just have a cross-reference of that then. QD Link taking the lead, 24.2. Tau 22.86. Kuv 22.14. SA 100 17.4. Gorilla Pool 12.8. Well done them. Mining Dutch just 0.71. Alright. Transactions here in the memory pool. 127,000. That's just shot up. But just 36,000 over the last 24, confirmed over the last 24 hours. 34,081 transactions according to BitInfo charts. Right, let's have a quick look at 365 days of Bitcoin history. On the 13th of May 2014, there was just posts here from Bitcoin Talk. But on the 13th of May 2009, 2009, the network started on the 3rd of January 2009. So we're only talking, what, 3 months after that. Roy Murphy, I think, has said here, when people call me a scammer, remind them who mined the first Linux Bitcoin client on May 13th, 2009, 6 months before the first official Linux client was released. Who operated more than 30% of Bitcoin hash rate from 2011 to 2013. Who created Aux POW merged mining algo in 2010. And then he continues, I built and ran the first Linux Bitcoin node, Gentoo Incognito 28.1 on May 13th, 2019. The GCC and G++ compilation was a pain in the arse. It took me 2 solid days to fudge. The first Linux Bitcoin wasn't publicly released until November that year. CSW said Bitcoin was not created on Linux. It was built on Microsoft XP using a Visual Studio. Guess who was a C++, C and .NET developer? GIAC.NET GNET analyst number. Yeah. I'm guessing that's CSW. Yeah. And on the 13th of May 2021, there was a TPR crypto newsletter. So I think it was like today's date, or up to date. Terra Foundation suspended the Terra blockchain to give the network a chance to come up with a recovery plan. The blockchain officially halted at block 7607789. Binance suspended and resumed spot trading, that's going to be trading, of Luna and UST. Emirates Airlines to accept Greycoin as payments. FTX CEO bans Sam Bankman-Fried purchased 7.6% of the trading platform Robinhood. No way. Musk puts Twitter acquisition temporarily on hold. And former crypto queen Ruja Ignatova put on most wanted list. Our Redditor is also crypto queen. Yes, most wanted, but for her advices. Oh, cool. Right, there we go. That is a 25-minute show. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoy it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi@Senbit.com, Handcash.io, RockWallet.me, Simply.cash, Related.com, or Senti.ch. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.